happens a lot in the United States. But here in Brazil, yeah, I think here sometimes happen, but I think in countries like United States, the situation occurs more than here. And I think this one of the advantages that we have here in Brazil. Although many problems we have here, however, we have this advantage. At least the racism is less here.
That's great. And totally, it's a horrible thing that's happened. I think in all different countries. And later, I have a question about Brazil, and I will talk later about Brazil too. And how do you think about this, Paula?
Well, I think something that we don't pay any attention, and when we do it, we don't give enough credit, because I study environmental science at some point in my life, and I have a technician degree at chemistry, and I've worked with environmental before, and I didn't know about this concept. So if it exists, why we don't have information about it? I think the first barrier, the first wall that we have to go through is the lack of knowledge.
Yes, that was my first thought. Why I didn't know about this before? Uh, totally. Because we know about the examples, but we didn't know about the concept indeed. But well, that's one. And how about you, Igor?
Asking the question, my first thought it's thinking in the people who lives in the ghettos and the peripheries of the city, because I think the these places you has a more proportion of black people and poor people too. And in my mind, that thing is it's very near, very related. The skin, the black people and the poverty in this case, because I think the problem is more deeper than we thought, because in my mind this is a political, yeah, the one strategy of the authorities to maintain your power, your business, because they get so much money with poverty and poor people, I think. And my first thought is this: thinking in ghettos and periphery.
And totally agree. Totally agree. That's also a political meaning for maintaining his power and his management of people here and everywhere, everywhere. And how about you, Luis?
To be honest, I had never heard about of environment racism. So, but of course, it's a very bad aspect of our society. I agree with Mateus when he say that here in Brazil, it's less, I think, than other countries. Like our law doesn't uh, agree with this act. In some countries, it isn't a crime. So I think we are in the right on the right way to combat this.
Good. And the second question is it's about which people or groups do you think are the most affected by pollution and why do you think so? Igor, you started to say about the periphery and tell more about this. What kind of groups and why do you think so this affect? more
Yeah,
dense.
I partially agree with Mateus when he said when he said that the people lives on the in this scenario. It's not just black people, but every ethnia, every kinds of ethnias. But the situation that that more complicated is a social um, it's a social problem, not just one racism problem. and I think that in majority people lives in this or more affected with the pollution. It's it's a that's families with build your houses, your places near near to the uh, esgoto, the system of collective of uh, the word escape from my mind. But that's
I got.
idea. But that's idea.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree, and agree. It's about these groups are affected by by pollution because they have to live near that.
Yeah,
They
they
were
don't have a choice.
no, yes, that's the point.
And
That's the point.
yeah,
Though they need to live near this pollution is the serage. I think that's is go to maybe and yeah, totally agree, totally agree. And how about you, Luis? Luis, you're
Just a
the oh yeah,
question. We
yeah.
are talking about pollution, like air pollution, or
Oh, every kind of pollution. You could think about water, air, soil.
okay, okay. Just to know. So I think poor people are more affected by pollution. Like Igor said, they don't have choice. Here in Volta Redonda, for example, for who don't know, we have the CSM. It's a big factory here in our state. So we have to live with the pollution, and it's so hard for our. It it isn't good for our health, but we don't have choice. Um, it's the heart of the city, movement, the economy. So we have to live with this. But they the factory produce a lot of pollution here.
That's the example. And how about you, Paula?
Well, I think every minority group is affected by environmental pollution because when we go far away um, from the rich neighborhood, we don't have so much parks or water treatment. For example, we can see it here in Brazil every day when we have some environmental disaster. The first people to be affected are the minority group.
Yeah, totally agree. And mainly about the water, indeed, it's a, a huge part of the population, either in the north or other kind of state that didn't have this quality of water to drink, to and everything, and to live in it. So this is really serious. How about you, Mateus?
So this topic is interesting, because many people from poor backgrounds are affected, and when we talk about water, it's something that all of us as human beings it's something important to our health, and it's really sad. We stop and think about that those people are really affected about those problems, because it's not only something that will affect their quality lives, but in fact will affect their health. Unfortunately, people from a poor background are affected in their health, and their quality of life. And um, as the first guy said, it's a social problem, because people from a rich background aren't affected by these problems. However, on the other hand, a poor background are really affected.
Yes, and these minority groups could include, foreigners that live here in Brazil, examples like Bolivia or other countries near of us. About how can I say, indigenous? I don't know how can I say that now, but so it's
N-
a you could say
Natives, maybe.
natives.
Natives.
Yes, that's the simple one. And the natives, uh, and these minority groups, as Igor said in the first, didn't have choice to live in a better place or in a better conditions, I think. And do you guys? The third one is about: do you know any Brazilian examples of environmental racism? If you do, tell the group. Igor, you have some example? So you can start.
I would like to ask this because in my mind the COVID scenario it's totally this in Brazil because it's a pollution, it's a kind of disease that affects more black people than white people. It's numbers. So look the numbers that we show to the scientific community show to us. And I just in the last semester I do this discipline that I could search some articles to talk about the how COVID-19 affects the the communities, the periphery groups, and in my mind, COVID is the most important recent example, because in fact, black people is more affected, and the ghetto people is more affected.
Yes, and this is totally related with environmental because they are more affected because of the conditions they are to live or to fight for this disease.
Yeah, poverty is not a comorbidity
Yes,
in si,
yes,
but
yeah,
but
that,
the whole thing.
yeah. So the possibilities that they are to prevent, even to prevent or to be careful or the COVID, it's totally insane. Totally insane. So that is it. And what do you think, Paula? Do you have some examples of Brazilian here in Brazil? Paula.
Well, mhm. Here in Brazil, we have the favelas that they don't have any water treatment, or I don't know, it's good in English, and good to treatment too, and they don't have access to any kind of human rights basic. So I think the problem is much more from environmental racism. It's something more structural that we have a long time ago, and if you don't do some programs, education programs, and everything, the people don't even know what they have as right.
Yes, people really don't know about his rights at all, at all. And even we couldn't, as I said in the beginning, we can even know about this, so we don't have noticed this. How could we help it if we don't have this information about it? That's a really important point.
That's the kind of information that you could bring in basic students in the beginning of
Yes.
your life, because that's a construction of your mind. You know, this knowledge is a construction. You see the environmental, the behavior of people around you, and I think that's important to told
To
to young
introduce
young.
yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And how about you, Mateus? Do you have
So,
some examples in Brazil?
um, the, the first thing that I would like to talk about, I hear here, the words slow and savage. And here in Brazil, we have many examples of slums. Here in my city, Brasilia, we have some slums. Actually, I don't know if you guys know, but here, the um, second highest slum is here. However, in some parts of this slum, it's not so bad, because people have a little condition. On the other hand, in some other parts, I notice many examples of people who suffer every day, who have to struggle against some challenges, social challenges, you know. And one thing that I would like to talk about, um, that this girl said, I think her name is Paula, about the lack of knowledge. And I think this is the first problem, because the lack of knowledge affect people from slum, because sometimes they don't have access to those knowledge, because sometimes they need to work every day. They don't have enough time to study, and the lack of knowledge about their situation, about think things that they could do to improve their lives, especially in their community, is a big problem.
Yes, that's great. And I didn't know that the second biggest, the second largest Islam in the Brazil. I didn't know. And how about you, Luis?
I don't have an example, but I want to complain what the guy said. I think in general the care of for the poorest population here in Brazil is much smaller. Um, I think not so, only in slums, but in general, I think like in the health, on the tradition of everything, I think it's hard.
Yes, for the specific groups, it's hardest because uh, it's a whole system that didn't provide anything for them. So for this group, and well, this is what makes hard. Indeed. Uh, and the number four, do you think that CEOs or presidents or any company would think twice if they contaminated their own family neighborhood? It's one question that I really don't know, because sometimes money could think more about it. Oh, my own family. Oh, I don't know. I have the money, but I really don't. I really don't know about this.
That's a
What do
kind
you
of
think, guys?
that's a kind of illusion, because when you pollute one environment, you just pollute your too, your neighborhood too. Even if you don't know this.
A great point. A great point. What do you think, Paula? You make the so sense.
I totally agree with Igor because I don't know it's lack of knowledge or humanity, but when someone pollutes a river, it will back to the person in another way, but it still will affect her life, its life. But when well, I think they don't see the immediate effect when they do something like that, because if I can see does it exist? I think that's the line of thought line, you know. But if they did see what they are doing, if something's more directly, probably they wouldn't do it.
Totally, totally. You know the words turn, and that is the phrase that I use for everyone. So this happens, guys. This happens. And how about you, Mateus? What do you think the CEO would think twice if contaminated their own neighborhood, their family's neighborhood? Oh, just you are muted. You are muted. Oh, now okay.
Actually, it seems to me that they don't think so much, you know, um, as the examples that we can see in our country, but um, Paula said something interesting, because this situation could affect their government. However, I remember that one day I was talking about those subjects with a friends of mine, and they said something interesting because the government uh, does things like that. You know, they sometimes don't care about the poor background or about this, because it's like I don't know how can I say in English, but mafia, because um, if people don't
Gangster,
have
gangster.
gangster, okay, if people don't have enough knowledge, if they don't have enough study, um, they don't have the situation to grow in their life, and ask the government, because if people have enough knowledge, they could contest the government, and the government, unfortunately, um, could slow down, something bad can happen for them.
That's a. Oh, Paula, you want to say something?
It's still about the CEO slash president knowing about polluting the environment. I just wanted to say a study that I learned about that is Brazil is the most seller of fruits and vegetables in the world. Everyone
Yes.
bought the food from us. But why? Because our products are cheaper than others. Because we don't. Como que é cobrar? We don't.
Buy, buy,
No.
buy.
When they buy
Cobrar.
something for us, cobrar.
Ah,
They
to. Ooh, I forgot.
Okay.
Keep going. When they buy something from us,
Charge, collect.
we don't charge about the environmental impact. That's why our products are cheaper than the other countries. So we are polluting our country, and we are not even receiving for it. So it's something idiot because we will
Yes,
suffer
totally.
this in the future.
And there we are, Brazilians. So welcome to this beautiful world. Yes, I totally agree. There is something really idiot, at least this. And I forgot about what I was saying. There's questions about how can the government mitigate environmental racism? How can make less or it's like a diminish the environmental racism. What do you think, Mateus? How the government could act against this? Oh, you are muted. You are muted.
So
Yeah,
the
now
first
go.
thing that comes to my mind, the government should be required, you know, to give more opportunities in people from a poor background. The government should create some programs, you know, to educate people from a poor background. In addition to that, um, the government should create uh, much more opportunities when we talk about jobs, because jobs can get better the lives of people from poor backgrounds.
Yeah, the point in the video they said about this point because the black people in the U.S. United States that receives I don't know uh, more than the double or triple of the white people still live in the worst conditions. you know so it's like it doesn't even matter the money that they receive for this. So what do you think about this role of the government in this, Igor? What do you think about this?
I think that to beginning this conversation, they need uh, accept that that's a problem. That's two problems: racism problem and environmental problem, and recognize this these two that's two subjects have some related, um, and and the other things I think that we just talking here because investing in more investments in education or um, social programs, kind of uh, thinking the environmentals of the city and pay more attention in the in the environmental impact uh, documents, because when you have some company that that put some chemicals or waste products in one river, for example, in Brazilian system have other companies that we got these professionals. They build some documents of environmental impact, and they know that they don't can put this pollution in the river, but exists some exits and some points of escape that's regulatory, I think.
That's it's supposed to be this regulament or some punishment for this. It's
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to have more of this. I think I
But
agree in
but
this part.
this yeah, but this part of the thing, it's not, it's deixada de lado, assim, tipo, as multas.
Yes. Our, how can I say, environmental minister. It's a great person, man. It's a great person. It's a great person.
That's a gangster in a ministerial.
Oh, yes, yes. I guess gangster or this is on YouTube. YouTube. So sorry about that. Paula, your time.
Well, I agree with you, Igor. The first step is to recognize this problem because the first the first action from the government is to deny that we have a problem. That's the first problem. And we have to act in more than one place because seeing this video, I think that the attacks that the indigenous people have been suffering is it's kind of environmental racism because the people they are harming just don't not only people but the environmental as well. So we need more um, straightforward laws. We have to uh, give conditions so the people don't need to attack the indigenous and want their land. We have a lot of problems, but we are doing nothing about this.
Yes. And that's an example that I forgot to say about the indigenous, the environment versus indigenous, mainly in North, or that it's most of these groups of indigenous, and that they suffering different attacks from different ways, different ways, and this is so horrible because they didn't even have this information about rights or something like that, and out and we as outside of that didn't have this information about this show. So this is totally, I mean, and this happened also this year, the past this year was the most had the most attacks for the all the times for the time. So it's really horrible, and we didn't do anything. Like I said, we as government, I said we, but we as government didn't do anything, and still want to, I think. And about the other question, it's does this the solution for this situation depends only of the government? If not, how could the other paths or pathways to have the solution? Like, do you think that we have some part that we could do something for this too? What do you think, Paula?
Well, I think the government is just a reflection of the society. If we can do things right, how can we want to them do something right? So I think the first steps, the population start realize that they need the environmental to live because we just have the earth as home. So we can, after that, we can ask for the government to do something. The problem is many people they want to government to do something, but they don't do it themselves because they always think, I don't need to do that because I'm just one person. What the impact that I will cause? But no, everyone has something to do and something to do better.
Yes, and I totally agree. Totally agree. How about you, Mateus? What do you think? That we could do something about it?
Yes. So I agree with Paula, and I think even governments and society have parts in this situation, because it's not only something that the governments should be required to act, but the population, because when everybody um, get together, you know, the strengthen of our society, you know, to grow up, and it is important everyone to get together and make something differently to resolve these problems, and also the governments with their help, because the governments has the money, and the money is the key to solve some of these problems.
Yes, and people are coming, but you can say, Igor, about your opinion about that, that we could do something.
Okay, I totally agree with Paulo, with Matheus, because um, in a few years ago, I participated to the one social program, and that you can in your slum and talk to the people, talk about your needs, and you can see the uh, environmental issues, okay, and I don't know if you just got this social programs, not enough, but helps, because the population organize yourselves to don't don't put the garbage in their place, and the days the right days to do some kind of important to not to prevent the the one big problem,
Yeah,
you know
that's I got it. I got it.
prevent one big problem, environmental problem. And in this case, the population get the power to
To do
to
this.
organize and
Yeah,
don't suffering so much.
that's agreed. Agreed. And welcome back. Hey, Atamis and Marisa. And how's the conversation? How's the conversation, Atamis? What do you think? What do you talk about? And how's the conversation
It
for
was
you?
really good. It was really good. I, I really, I wasn't. I didn't have much time. The lately to attend the meetings,
Yes.
but when I saw the topic, I thought I need to participate because it's very important to me. It's very important to the world in general. So I'm trying today, and yeah, it doesn't. It's not a topic makes me happy, but it makes me think, and I think we have to talk about things not good
Yes.
for us. Like it's not good to say and talk about racism, but we have to change the thing. So I really appreciated all the topic and the conversation in my room.
Oh, and I'm glad you came. And I'm glad you came today. That's been a long time, so thank you. And Marisa, as your first meeting, how is it going, and what's your feeling about it?
It's good. I don't have the words for express me how I want, but I like it. And it's very good,
Great.
and the topic is necessary. Is um,
we need this topic and talk about this.
Totally. And that this whole week will be about this. So please welcome to attend other meetings. This will be an important week for us and for everyone. So I'm glad that you are here in this Monday morning to attend my meeting, and I'm so glad and I'm pleasure to be here with you guys. So that is one thing really important to name it feedback. So please, you will receive feedback in your email. So please respond and answer this with
I always forgot
honest.
this.
Oh man, please.
Oh, I just asked one first one in one
Yeah,
in the first meeting.
the first meeting, I remember. But you not just to get value for this meeting, but to give suggestions to another meetings. This one was specific week that was thematic, but next week will comes to the usual meetings to others topics. So you could suggest too. And
You can
thank
suggest
you.
things in the Telegram group.
Great.
We can suggest in there.
Yes, totally. So, guys, thank you all. I wish you a nice week, nice day, and please use this reflection for not only today or this week, but for your own life. And that is it. Thank you, guys. Bye, YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.